Welcome back to the 4th episode of my original Tower Defense Simulator series, The Rundown. Just to remind ya, in these videos I go over everything you need to know about each tower, including its stats, providing general strategy advice, doing a skin showcase, sharing trivia information, and finally giving my overall opinion of each tower. All of this information comes from the official Tower Defense Simulator Wiki, which I will link in the description below. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. In this episode, I'll be covering everything you need to know about TDS's first event tower, the Gladiator. The Gladiator is a short-range ground tower that was originally unlocked by triumphing on the Heights during the Sword Fight on the Heights event. You could also have purchased it via Game Pass for 200 Robux during the Black Friday 2019 sale. The Gladiator attacks by swinging its sword, dealing the same damage across all enemies caught in its swing. This makes it a multi-target tower. However, the Gladiator has very short range, making it most useful against slow groups of enemies, but weak against faster ones. The Gladiator also has a small placement footprint in comparison to most other towers. And finally, it has the unique ability of being able to block stuns from its enemies. Now let's talk about the stats. This tower is going to cost $300 to place and will sell for $100 at its base level. It's a ground placement tower with no placement limit. The level 1 upgrade costs $250 and adds 1 damage. The level 2 upgrade costs $500 and adds 2 damage and also gives the tower hidden detection. The level 3 upgrade costs $1,500, adds 5 damage along with the Warrior's Call ability. The level 4 upgrade costs $2,500, adds 15 damage and increases the swing rate from 1 to 0.75. And finally, the level 5 upgrade costs $6,000, adds 1 range, adds another 15 damage, and increases the swing rate from 0.75 to 0.5. So what is the Warrior's Call ability and how does it work? When you activate this ability, the Gladiator's swing rate is boosted by 35%, it lasts for 15 seconds and has a 30-second cooldown. This allows the Glad to do an absolutely devastating amount of damage, as you'll see here on the stats table. Now I do want to note that none of these values take into account the ability or the fact that the Gladiator hits more than one enemy at a time, so I'd say that the actual in-game DPS is much higher than what we see here. At max level, it does a crazy 80 damage per second, which is exactly the same amount of DPS a max level regular minigunner does. Of course, the disadvantage for the Gladiator is its extremely short range, maxing out at only 6. This is the exact max range of the Slasher, but the Slasher only does around 30 DPS. The real benefit of using the Gladiator is its ability to clear early game waves quickly. I watched a video one time of someone completing the fastest solo fallen run ever, and they used the Gladiator tower on the harbor map. It's great for that kind of thing because not only is it incredibly cheap to place, it doesn't just do 2 damage per second to one zombie, it does it to all the zombies in its swinging range. Now I'm going to move on to some general strategy advice. The Gladiator only has 1 attack, which hits every zombie within a 180-degree arc. This makes it a very useful splash damage tower for compact hordes, and since it has a very short range, it should be placed at bins or turns on the map to make the most use of that range. Also, be sure to place it at points where enemies cross over more than once. Because of the Gladiator's hitbox, if the DJ increases its range to higher than 6, enemies in the gained range will not be damaged. To further maximize this tower, use its Warrior's Call ability along with the Commander's Call to Arms to get just a crazy swing rate. Be sure to place it near freezers, frost blasters, or electroshockers because those towers will slow enemies down, giving the Glad more time to attack. Without a doubt, the most effective aspect of this tower is its ability to hit more than one enemy. This makes it very efficient against groups of zombies such as slows. On the other hand, its biggest weakness is fast zombies, and so shocks and glitches will move outside of its area of attack pretty quickly. Surprisingly, it can handle hiddens and shadows pretty well at levels 3 and levels 4 respectively. And the Gladiator is especially useful against mysteries as there's a chance it'll hit both the mystery itself and the zombie it spawns. It also has the same advantage against summoned enemies like those from the Necromancer. Ironically, you shouldn't use the Glad on maps like the Heights because its hitbox won't be able to reach the enemies on the path. At all levels, the Gladiator can block 1 stunning attack every 5 to 10 seconds, although this does not make the tower completely immune to being stunned. For example, if the Fallen Swordmaster throws 2 swords at the same Gladiator, it'll block the first sword but get stunned by the second one. This stun blocking ability works best against single stun enemies like the Fallen Guardian and the Fallen Titan. Finally, the Gladiator has a small placement footprint, meaning it can squeeze in beside other towers quite easily if there's a space problem. And here's the question everyone's been waiting for. Should the Gladiator be used to trigger Hidden Wave? Actually, I think it can be. I'm pretty sure I've heard of some strats that use it, but I always ignore them because I don't have this tower. It's really good for replacing the Golden Scout because what you really need is a tower that can quickly clear the earlier waves while you farm money for stronger towers like the Ranger. So if you've managed to use the Glad to trigger Hidden Hidden Wave or know someone who has, let me know how that worked out down in the comments below. Now, if you happen to have this tower and you're wondering what a good loadout is for it, I'd recommend something like Gladiator for early to mid game because of its high damage, Farm to get those the monies, Commander to boost the Gladiator's swing rate even more, Minigunner to help out with its high range and high damage into mid and in game, and Ranger or Accelerator or Turret to be your in-game high damage destroyer. Now I'm gonna go over the skins that are available for it. As of recording this video, there are 3 skins for the tower: the Slugger skin, the Pumpkin skin, and the Demon skin. Now I've already showcased all these skins in other videos, so I'm gonna be using that footage for this part, but I'm only gonna show one side of the skin here, so if you wanna see more footage of them, I'll link those videos down in the description below. Alright, starting with Slugger Gladiator at level 0. This dude looks pretty cool, but he also looks pretty plain. At level 1, he gets some gloves, of course. Level 2, he adds a cool hat and sunglasses. At level 3, he gets some arm wraps and some knee pads. Level 4 gives him dog tags. And level 5 tops it all off with barbed wire wrapped around the bat, cooler hat, a headset, a boombox on his back. And I'm sorry for the bad picture. This was the first skin showcase that I did, and it was terrible. Anyway, moving on, here is the Pumpkin Gladiator at level 0. Here he is at level 1. This is a pretty big change for such a low level. He gets more than just gloves, he gets the full body armor. At level 2, his axe gets like a purple color. Level 3 gives him some kind of fur collar and armor on his hips. Level 4 is obviously that awesome neon green axe. And at level 5, he goes full Lord Sinister. Now here's a Demon Gladiator at level 0, pretty boring. He gets spiced up at level 1 with some demon wings. Level 2 gives him a rad helmet with horns on it. Level 3 throws in the metal arms. Level 4 changes his sword to a scythe. And at level 5, he gets an even cooler scythe, a red devil hood, and glowing red devil eyes. Alright, now let's go over some tower trivia. Dude, I knew this was the Gladiator. Hey, look at that. I just learned something new from this video too. The Gladiator can be seen vacationing on the Medieval Times map. This is because the Glad was unable to be used between October 13th and November 29th, 2019. Whenever a player would try to place a tower, the following message would be displayed: "Hey, I'm on vacation, don't bother me." And the Easter egg still remains in the game, even though the Gladiator can be used again. Prior to November 29th, 2019, the Glad had 2 abilities: Frenzy and Sharp Edge. Frenzy was the original name for Warrior's Call, and Sharp Edge increased damage by 100% for 8 seconds. Holy cow, that's really good. And this ability had a 60-second cooldown. So this tower had 2 abilities? That's OP. And before the medic was added in the Mega Update, the Glad was the only tower that could heal base health. At level 5, it healed 1 HP per kill. However, this was removed on November 29th, 2019, and the Gladiator used to have 4 attacks, which were Sword Slash, Sword Spin, Piercing Lunge, and Sharp Dash. And the final piece of trivia that we have is, of course, the fact that the Gladiator was the first event tower to be added to the game. Alright, and now for my much sought after opinion on the tower. I'm just gonna say it. I love it. This is the one event tower I really want the devs to bring back as a game pass. Honestly, I'd pay 1,000 Robux to have it. I think it's a crazy OP tower for its placement price and way better than the Slasher. It's all about that piercing damage, man. The ability to do that much damage that early in the game is really unmatched. But it's not only the stats that make me like this tower. The Slugger skin was one of the first skins I really wanted in TDS because I think it just looks so simple and so cool. If I had this tower, I'd definitely use that skin all the time. And let's be honest, right now, the Gladiator is the ultimate flex. Every time I see someone place it, I know they're a god at this game and we're gonna win because only OG players have it right now. The Slasher's already come back as a game pass, so that's not exclusive. And I'm pretty sure the Frost Blaster's coming back as a game pass for the winter event, so that only leaves the Gladiator and the Commando as OG towers. And come on, the Commando sucks, so who cares about that one? So in conclusion, is this tower hot or not? I'm gonna say a big fat hot. I know for a fact that if they ever bring this back as a game pass, it'll be one of the hottest selling items in Tower Defense Simulator history. And not just because it's OG or because it's cool looking. People want it because it's actually a really good tower, which you just can't say about many cheap early game TDS towers. But as always, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Is the Glad the savior of the human race, or is it just another overhyped tower that doesn't really matter anyway? And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button with your forehead, hit that subscribe button with your big toe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my amazing upcoming content. And while you're at it, go ahead and join my growing Discord community. You can do that at discord.gg/JustHarrison things. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, be safe, and never forget what I always say. Peace!